Good morning to one and all. Um, my name is Shruti. I'm a research fellow at IIT Bombay, and since 2017, I have been associated with the Canal Rejuvenation Project, which is underway in Alapura. Um, can you go to the next slide, please? So I don't have to dwell on this. Everybody knows this. Next. 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 So. Just a little bit of background of about the project and myself. So this project started in 2017, and a group of people from IIT Bombay, all of us, we were intending to solve the problem of polluted canals. There were many partners in this project, IIT Bombay being one of them. There was Alapura municipality and Kila. And all of the data, findings, impacts, whatever I'm going to present today, it is a culmination of the work of a lot of people who have been involved in this project since 2017. In fact, it was my former colleague Sridhar who introduced me to Manoj, and that is how I am actually here presenting this to this very vibrant community of OSM enthusiasts. I have to confess that I am not a technical person. I haven't directly uploaded any data into OSM. I am just representing my team here and presenting the results in front of you. I am a policy and governance researcher, but since this particular project falls in the domain of governance, and OSM has been an invaluable tool in understanding governance approaches to solving this problem. So as you can see, this is one of the canals in Alapura district. It is very polluted, and the pollution is mainly due to two factors. That is solid waste, which is finding its way into the canals, as well as liquid waste, septic tank, soak pit, avadannulla waste. So all this is coming into the canals and polluting it. And if you've been to Alapura, you know that canals are the face of that particular town, right? It crisscrosses, so many canals are there. Vada Canal, Commercial Canal, there are two main canals, and there are many sub-canals which are feeding into it. So if you want to, so the initial idea was to clean the main canals. But after a recce visit there, we realized that it's not so easy. Cleaning the main canals means cleaning all the sub-canals which is coming into it. But who knows which are those sub-canals? Who has mapped these? The municipality, when we approached them, the data which they had, it was outdated. In many places, the canals were encroached. In many places, there were bridges as well as, roads in place of where apparently canal should be. So we understood that the data cannot be trusted. Municipality data kondu ee project nu oru gunam illanu manasilayi. Not to blame them, but because they have very little resources with them to execute this. And the other thing is, what is their interest in executing? Endukondu avaru adu cheyanam, endu kittum avarku adu cheyidukondu, right? Those are the questions which were at the center of this particular project. Next slide, please. So this is the canal rejuvenation project. As I said, there were three main parties who were involved in this. Mainly Alapura municipality, who steered the project, Kila, who provided invaluable and flexible funding. It has to be reiterated that when you get flexible funding without any conditions, it means that you can use it for a wide variety of causes without any riders associated with it. So OSM community ku grant kittikayna, if they say that this can be used only for this purpose, then that ties the nature of that particular findings. Namukku vera koodalum adil cheyan pattilla. The fact that Kila could provide different kinds of flexible fundings helped the project initially. And then IITB, my professor, he is my PhD guide. His name is Professor N.C. Narayanan. He was the one who came into the project, and this happened due to the support of the former finance minister also. It's not easy to find your way into municipalities and demand data from them. ഇപ്പോൾ നേരത്തെ ഒരു ചോദ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഡേറ്റ കിട്ടിയ ഒരു മുനിസിപ്പാലിറ്റിയുടെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? എളുപ്പമല്ല. You go there, they will be, first they will be interested in why do you want this data, what you are going to do with this data. So all these questions come up. So for us, the thing was that support of the state in the form of support from the former finance minister helped us in getting access to places from where data could be collected. So coming to the project itself, there were different activities which happened. There are activities still happening. Some of the main activities which I'll be covering through this presentation is these winter school, summer school surveys and different kinds of projects. Next slide, please. So this is the main project process which was followed. So base maps were the ones on which the work happened. It could be QGIS or My Maps in Google. And to populate the different data sources, we conducted household surveys and rain mapping. So if you go to the previous slide, 1 minute. So this one. So if you see, winter school and summer school were two exercises in which students from all over the country, they came. They were trained on open data tools, ODK as well as OSM. During the day they were trained, and in the afternoons they were asked to conduct mapping along different pre-designated areas around the town. So they collected data on different households, what they are doing with their waste. Solid waste endiyunu, liquid waste endiyunu. That was one kind. And the other set of students, they started walking along the canals. They tracked the canals. They found that in this point in the canals, there is a household which is leaving into, which has a pipe which is discharging liquid waste into it. Again they walk, they find that there is a hotspot of solid waste. People are dumping solid waste into it. There was another activity in which students found that there were hotels and establishments who were burning solid waste which is generated into their premises there. Another property which they found was that a 5-star hotel was releasing the septic tank and soak pit overflows into the canals. So all this data could be found with the help of these two exercises. This was again continued during different projects with the help of interns who came in from different universities, as well as the different project staff who were involved in the project. Next slide, please. So all this data which was collected with the help of all these volunteers, students, interns, it was then inputted into a QGIS platform which served as a decision support tool. So with the help of this, we could get an idea of what exactly is happening. Now, only 5 minutes. Okay, so the problem with this with the data is that what we need is very fine granular data. If you are going to the field, what we find is at this location, this is what is happening. That is the kind of data you need for interventions. So the decision support tool was for different kind of interventions: governance, technology, and social. Next. So this has also, if there are polluters, it has to be regulatory interventions. If there are pollution hotspots, there has to be technological interventions. Next. So this is as part of one of the studies, water sampling. So I don't know whether it is clear. So there are all these sampling points which were also identified by the students. Next. So this is a drainage map of inlets. As you can see, this was an OSM track of when the students walked and they started pointing out, so this is the place where there is a liquid discharge. This is the place where solid is being discharged. This is the drain inlet. Next. And these are photos which were collected in ODK So this is one of the hotels which was there, and it was dumping solid waste. Now if you see in this image, I don't know whether it is clear, but this, if you see, this is a pipe, and from there the liquid waste is getting dumped into the canals. Again, one more hotel, solid waste is being burnt. Next. And as part of this, one more idea was to have contextually, so we have all this data. Now what to do with this data, right? So anybody familiar with the concept of watersheds? Okay, so basically the idea is that topographically, if you see, if for every river has a catchment, right? So all the rain which is flowing into the river, into the area in the vicinity of the river will flow into the particular river. That is the idea. So that is the watershed of that particular river. That is the place from where all the rain which is coming is flowing into the river. Similarly, we created something known as canal sheds. So all the water which is generated in a particular area is finding its way into the canals because of the topography, because of the way the gradient of the canal is. It is finding its way. So during the civil engineering survey, what they did was they mapped the length of the canals, that is the students. They mapped the length of the canal, they mapped the gradient of the canal, and along with that, they found out that what is the direction of flow of the sub-canals into the main canal to identify the canal sheds. And those canal sheds became the primary decision unit of analysis for the decisions. That is, in this canal shed, this is the main problem. This is the solution which can be appropriate for this. So contextually appropriate solutions could be designed for each canal shed. Now, When I say could be, the reality is very different, as I'll come to, but theoretically that is what is possible. Next. So this is how it was done. Different drains were mapped, and from there, if you, I don't know whether you can see it, but the blue highlighted area is the particular canal shed of those canals. Next. This is again one more environmental study. I'll not dwell into this. Next. Next. This also I'll come to later. Next. So this is the final impact of that project. Once you find out that where the canals are polluted, you transfer the data to the state. Then the state can come into the picture. And this happened. This is one of the canals which were cleaned. It was a community initiative. Wherein people from a particular colony, they came in and they got into the canals and cleaned it. Next. This is again one more canal which was mapped. It was found that there was solid waste hotspots near the canals. So this which you see here, this is an aerobic unit. This is used as a solid waste management system for organic part of solid waste. So there is a colony nearby, there is a canal actually behind that. So all the waste used to earlier go into the canals. This was established. From then the waste has been collected and converted into compost in this particular place. Next. In that same colony, so if you look at this area, this is actually a canal. This is a small sub-canal which is going there. So all the liquid waste from the colony was also going into the canals. So instead of that, it was diverted into a DWAT system from where all the waste water was treated, and the cleaner effluent was then led back into the canals. Next. And this is finally, as I said, there was an environmental study of polluting institutions. As you saw earlier, there were solid waste and liquid waste of those hotels and establishments were marked. And when we transferred the data to the Pollution Control Board, they sent show cause notices to these establishments. We just know that they sent show cause notices. We don't know what happened later. Some of them, according to our knowledge, were closed down. But again, we know how the state works. There is limited amount of control they can also have on such institutions. So that is there. I guess that's all. Yeah, thank you.